Will Toronto condo prices continue to decline? That's the question I'm going to be covering in this video. Now, before I get into my prediction and where I feel the condos market's going to go, specifically the prices, let's talk about where we are and how we got here, right? If you're watching this, then you're probably aware that the Toronto condo market has not been doing that well over the past couple of years, mainly due to the fact that interest rates have been climbing rapidly and a lot of condos have hit the market because investors are opting to sell. Coupled with the fact that not many people are buying condos, specifically investors who used to be a large portion of the buyers, because everything is heavily cash flow negative, and for investors it doesn't really make a lot of sense. And the reason why we had a lot of inventory come into the market was because a lot of the investors who purchased properties when they had their renewals, their mortgage cost went sky high and the rent wasn't enough to cover their carrying costs, so they had to put it on the market, and that increased a ton of supply. And because of that, first-time buyers weren't really able to enter the condo market either because of the high interest rates. Now, if we look at active listings year over year from September 2023 to 2024, we can clearly see that active listings are up 27%. 2024, which is this past month, active listings were up to 8,900, almost 9,000. And the year prior to that, in September 2023, exactly a year ago, we're sitting at 6,509, that being 27%. So year over year, condo listings have gone up quite significantly. And also, condo prices are down 14% from the peak of the market. Now, the peak of the condo market was April of 2022. And if we look at the average price in the city of Toronto, we're sitting at 820,000, and right now we're sitting at 707,000. So that's quite a dip in prices. Now, if you've been following the news closely, then you're probably aware that the Bank of Canada just dropped their overnight rate by 50 basis points on Wednesday. This is after 3 consecutive rate cuts of 25 basis points each prior to that. So all signs would indicate that we're heading towards a better place. However, keep in mind that a lot of condo sellers, investors, and also end users that are looking to upsize are waiting for further rate cuts before they put their condos on the market. So I won't be surprised if we start seeing more condo supply hit the market in the next few weeks, because a lot of sellers are under the impression that the rate cuts will bring in more buyers, which hypothetically it should. However, keep in mind that the Bank of Canada's overnight lending rate and the rate cuts are only related to the variable rate and not the fixed rate. So if you look at the variable rate, which is, depending on the lender, prime minus a certain percentage point, we're still hovering at, over 5.3, 5.5%. The overnight rate does not affect fixed rates. So it's still relatively difficult for buyers to qualify, specifically first-time home buyers. Now, there's a Financial Post article that came out recently that said the Bank of Canada rate cut unlikely to move the needle on housing market. It says specifically that 74% of Canadians say they need rates below 3% before they buy. Now, when they say rates below 3%, they're referring to not the overnight rate, but they're talking about the rate at which they qualify, or the fixed rate or the variable rate. The survey conducted for mortgage comparison site everyrate.ca in late September found that 74% of Canadians who are considering buying or refinancing need policy rates to drop below 3% before they act. We knew Canadians wanted to lower rates. We knew Canadians wanted to get into the housing market. We just didn't know how low they needed rates to go before they get off the sidelines. Most Canadians are clearly waiting for rates to drop further before moving. So if we're going to see more supply, potentially more supply come into the market, which remains to be seen after this last rate announcement and the rate cut, if we see more inventory and we're still waiting for buyers before they decide to act, that could potentially mean that condo prices are still going to continue to drop further. Now, a lot of the conversation that's been revolving around, the housing market related to immigration, especially from real estate agents who are quite bullish, have always, talked about how immigration is going to continue to go up. And, we're bringing in a lot of people who are going to need housing, which is going to further hurt the supply, but also put upward pressure on pricing. Well, the government just announced that Canada is to cut immigration by 20% in 2025. So they brought it down from 485,000 for 2024 to 380,000 in 2026, down from 500,000, and then 2027 they're looking at 365,000. I mean, you may think that's not a huge drop in immigration numbers, but it will have somewhat of an impact on the housing market. So I personally feel that the Toronto condo market has not yet bottomed out. We're still yet to see the bottom. We're likely going to start seeing more inventory hit the market over the next couple of months. And with buyers still being in the sidelines waiting for further rate drops, we're likely going to see a little bit more downward pressure on pricing. Now, having said all of that, this narrative about nobody's buying condos is also completely false, because if you look at the TREB numbers from September 2024, there were 1,312 condo sales. That means 1,300 people bought condos. So people are buying condos, and this is likely a mix of both end users and investors. I know I'm personally working with both sides right now. Buyers who are looking to get into the market right now because there's great deals out there, and investors who are finding some incredible deals. My take on buying property has always been to not time the market or wait for the bottom, but to make a decision when you're ready financially and when you find the right property that's the right fit for you. So I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, please go ahead and give it a like, and let me know in the comments what you think is going to happen to the Toronto condo market. Will the prices go up or down, or will they stay steady? And if you're new to this channel, please go ahead and subscribe. I talk about all things real estate. My name is Sid Sir. Until next time, take care.